Hello, everybody. Welcome into Hot Mike Sports. I'm your host, Ben Merrick. We're here with a fantasy football tips video today. Trade fours, give up ons, waiver wire pickups, all that stuff. So, if you're interested and you enjoy the video, please leave a like. Really appreciate it. And you want more content like this, please subscribe. So, I'm not going to waste a ton of time on the intro. So, we're going to get straight into it. And the first segment will be waiver wire pickups. This one is, we're going to start off like from most obvious to least obvious. Chase Claypool, like I said, super obvious. He's at a 96% rostered rate right now, but it's because of a plus 80. There's 80% of guys there's 80% of leagues he's currently in waiver wires about to be picked up. If you're ahead on the waiver wire, you need to get this guy. If he hasn't been already, this is the most obvious on the list, and he's more so a guy that you should trade for at this point. But if he's still in your waiver wire, pick this man up right now because Chase Claypool is a touchdown machine. They're using him in receiving ways. He has 2 rushing touchdowns the last 2 games. He's a deep threat guy. You want Chase Claypool on your team. Definitely the best wide receiver that's possibly in waiver wires right now, and he could be a very, very good starting wide receiver for you coming down the stretch and definitely leading into the playoffs. Moving on from that, Tua Tagovailoa just got named the starters today over Ryan Fitzpatrick in a surprising move for the Miami Dolphins, but if you want to take a shot on a quarterback, maybe your quarterbacks like Matt Ryan or Carson Wentz hasn't been playing as good, as consistent this year, maybe take a shot on Tua Tagovailoa, see what he can do in Miami. Maybe he makes a case for Rookie of the Year this year, and you win off that. He pulls a Lamar Jackson and becomes one of the best quarterbacks in the league like that. That could be a guy that you want. So I don't expect a ton of guys to go and pick him up. And if they do, it's super easy to trade for. It's a quarterback with not a lot of value. Hasn't had any real starting experience yet. I would go out and get Tua Tagovailoa if you need a quarterback. Moving on from that, Jerick McKinnon. This one is more like this week only, and that's due to the fact that Raheem Mostert's doubtful. When Raheem's out, Jerick McKinnon is a very, very good running back, and I expect him to do the same thing this week. I feel like he's going to put up another 15 this week if Raheem Mostert goes and gets classified as out. He's projected 14, which is pretty high for Jerick McKinnon. So this could be the week that you get Jerick McKinnon and he wins you a week, right? Definitely take a shot on Jerick McKinnon. Can't hurt. And maybe if you get him, you can sell him high because of his projection to someone that's not very smart. So moving on from that, Corey Davis. I really like Corey Davis, wide receiver for Tennessee. Great rookie year. And then this year he started off really, really well. 15, 14, and 13.5 point PPR league. And then he got COVID, so he had to stay out for 2 weeks, and then I think he's rostered in like 23% of leagues. This is a guy you want to pick up. He could be a serious wide receiver 2 or flex for you, and I feel like Corey Davis down the stretch will get more than 15 on a weekly basis. This is a guy you guys want. Cole Beasley is the last guy that I consider a waiver wire pickup. Cole Beasley is like the 3rd wide receiver on the Bills behind John Brown and Stephon Diggs. But if you just realize that Stephon Diggs and John Brown are the only guys ahead of him, they're deep threat guys. You can get Cole Beasley as a flex on a week-to-week basis, like saying that maybe your flex is a tough matchup. Throw Cole Beasley in there. He gets all the slants, all the ins that Josh Allen throws, which there's not a lot, but he might get an 8-target week, a 10-target week, like he did against the Chiefs. And this is definitely a good flex for you. Moving on from waiver wire pickups, we got trade for guys. There's 3 guys on this list. Some of them might be a little bit more difficult to trade for than others, but I try to make these guys underrated guys. Like, obviously, someone's going to want to trade for DK Metcalf or Kyler Murray. I'm not saying you should go out and trade for Kyler Murray or DK Metcalf. You might end up giving too much, right? But these are 3 guys I feel like are definitely tradable, and you should be targeting if you need a wide receiver or a running back. We're going to start off with Ronald Jones, running back for Tampa Bay. Now the starter. He's been putting up 15 to 20 point weeks like every week. This is a must-have running back, especially with how many running backs are not performing this year or are hurt this year. He could be a serious running back 2, possibly even a running back 1 on a not great team. But if you can get this guy for, I don't know, a big name guy that hasn't been succeeding this year, or maybe it's a package of guys, I'd say pull the trigger and go and get Ronald Jones. Moving to a wide receiver in Texas. We got Will Fuller playing for the Texans. Super good wide receiver when he's healthy, though. That's the only problem, is he has to be healthy. And he hasn't been throughout his career, but when he is, this year, he's getting 20-point games, especially without Bill O'Brien now. Deshaun Watson is using him effectively, and Will Fuller might be cheap because of the lack of playing time he's had this year. Go out and get Will Fuller because he could be a serious wide receiver 2 for you down the stretch and into playoffs. And lastly, on the trade for list, we got Mike Davis, Carolina's running back. This one is last for a reason. CMC will be back in a couple weeks, and Mike Davis won't be as valuable. But if you want, say, a 2-week rental and you can get him for cheap, Mike Davis will be a starting running back for you until further notice. The only problem, like I said, is we'll have to see what Carolina does utilizing him and CMC together. But I still feel like he'll get a decent amount of touches even with CMC back. Not a ton. He won't be the starter. Obviously, we're talking about the best running back in the league here. But Mike Davis, if you can get him for cheap for 2 weeks, use that as a leverage point, saying that he is going to be out, in 2 weeks, really, as the running back. Use that as a leverage point. Go and finesse to get Mike Davis for the next 2 weeks. Moving on from that, we have some guys that you need to trade out right now. These are superstar to star players, big name guys. You can get a lot for, but they haven't produced this year, and I think it's time to give up on them. There's 3 guys on this list. We're going to start off with the biggest name, the most controversial, Juju Smith-Schuster. I think you got to trade this guy. I think you're going to get a ton for him, and he's been insanely inconsistent this year. He's had 2 good games. Other than that, he's not getting a ton of targets, and now we're talking about Chase Claypool getting more and more touches. James Washington, Deontay Johnson are going to come back. You need to get rid of Juju. Try to get yourself a Ronald Jones. Try to get yourself a really good wide receiver with another big name, but that I think can actually produce. Go out and trade Juju. Another guy is T.Y. Hilton. Maybe you don't think this guy's a superstar anymore, but he's getting 1 to 2 touches a game now, and Phillip Rivers isn't using him the way that the Colts used to use him. T.Y. Hilton has a good enough name where his value exceeds what he's actually doing. It's time to trade T.Y. Hilton. There's no use in giving him any more time. You got to get rid of T.Y. Lastly on this list, Leonard Fournette. Week 1 was super rough. People already gave up on Leonard Fournette after that. Week 2, he put up like 28. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, Leonard Fournette's back. After that, he put up 2 every week. He's not that good. Ronald Jones stole his spot. He still has a decent enough name where maybe you can trade him for something. Maybe it's not a lot, but maybe it's another running back to take his place. But at this point, guys, I don't see Leonard Fournette ever making it into your lineup. Lastly, we have the do not give up on guys that maybe you drafted them high and you're thinking he's had a rough time and you're thinking it's time to trade him. Don't panic sell these 3 guys right here. Do not panic sell these guys. Hold on to them. They're going to be good for you down the stretch. You need these guys. Number 1, Tyreek Hill. If you haven't been paying attention to Chiefs games, Tyreek Hill hasn't been a huge part of the offense. With Le'Veon Bell joining this running offense, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire going off, give Tyreek Hill a chance. There's going to be a ton of keys on this rushing offense. Maybe they get it started, but when you have a guy with an arm like Patrick Mahomes, and you have guys with legs like Tyreek Hill, this offense is going to be unstoppable, and you're going to have weeks where the Chiefs are putting him 40 plus. Tyreek Hill will have 1 to 2 touchdowns those weeks. He is a burner. He's a big play threat all the time. Keep Tyreek Hill until like week 8. If it's the trade deadline and he's continuing this trend, maybe dump him. Try to get a guy like, try to get a big name wide receiver for Tyreek Hill, because you can pull it off with Tyreek Hill. But give him a couple more weeks to get back, to get the Chiefs offense really, really going. Next up, Lamar Jackson. Again, if you haven't been paying attention to the Ravens, you're like, they're 5-1. Lamar Jackson's got to be playing as well as he normally does. He's not. He's had like 15 to 24 weeks every week. Hasn't really had that big game yet. I expect Harbaugh to make him the MVP caliber quarterback he was again this year. It's not right now, guys, but you need to give him a chance because he will be winning you playoff games during playoff time. You can come back to this video and comment at me if he's not, because he will be winning playoff games single-handedly for you. Just let him get into the flow of the offense again. Lastly, Kenyon Drake just put up another 28 piece. He's been super duper inconsistent this year. A couple weeks ago, people were dumping him left and right, but Kenyon Drake proved after this week that they're going to utilize him the way that we saw him be utilized last year when he got traded from Miami. I really expect Kenyon Drake to be a number one running back this year. I personally really want Kenyon Drake on my team. Maybe try to build up that trio: Kyler Murray, Kenyon Drake, DeAndre Hopkins. Not easy at all to do, but I'm saying that trio will be winning you a championship possibly. So target those guys. Don't give up on them. So in recap, waiver wire pickups: Tua Tagovailoa, Chase Claypool, Jerick McKinnon, Corey Davis, Cole Beasley. Trade 4 guys: Will Fuller, Ronald Jones, Mike Davis. Give up on T.Y. Hilton, Juju Smith, and Leonard Fournette. And don't give up on Tyreek Hill, Kenyon Drake, and Lamar Jackson. Guys, I mentioned it at the beginning of every video, but please help me out. Subscribe, like it. It doesn't take that long to do, guys. You literally just tap. Boom, video's liked, and I feel supported. It'd really be appreciated if you shared this video, liked it, and subscribed. And I'll see you guys in the next video.